perception that we might have. I mean, you just need to do a week in the life of working with us and you'll realise that we're as dysfunctional as any other team that's out there. You know, we're just a whole bunch of people that love doing what we do. Quite often, we don't start things until the 11th hour. We always have more vision than we do resource as a church.
The question always comes, do you ever think when you're working on a video in, you know, the four corners of your office, that it will go that far? And to be honest, we hear these stories, but when we're working on it, we don't think that far. We're literally thinking, how are we gonna pull this off? There's such a sea of people doing incredible things that I think most of the time we feel inadequate, you know. Often feel like, yeah, we're a small drop.
So walking into Elevation almost 6 years ago now, things were a lot different. There was no video team before I got here. I mean, started from nothing is like actually like 100% accurate. It wasn't even like I couldn't spend money on productions when I was here. I had like, you know, small budgets, but I just didn't know how to not do it for free. You know, for a really long time it was building the foundation of what we have now and being faithful with like the small things that we were given, which, you know, was my personal EX1 and Stephen's personal 5D.
What others see as mundane, you see as magnificent. You catch a glimpse of something new, and it becomes something significant. It's that something extra that keeps you up at night. The hours pass by while everyone else sleeps.
And I think that's the fun of it, just kind of beating the odds, you know, regardless of the pressures and stuff, so.
For we didn't do this, and we never could have. We merely followed in the path of the original one.
And for many of us around here, that's what we've just done, is said, you know what, the situation is not perfect, and the reality is the situation's never perfect. You just have to start making headway where you're at, doing something with what you have.
This church did not judge me, did not condemn me. It welcomed me. That's what I want to be like for other people. That's why we choose. That's why we decide to greet. That's why we want to serve our church and our God. I never thought in a million years that two recovering drug addicts like myself and my husband would be holding the doors of a church open. That's the greatness of God, though. It doesn't matter where you've been, what you've done.
I want to create experiences. I want to be a part of creating experiences where people walk out and they go, I wish that was longer. I wish we could do that again. And I think that's really what we're trying to do. And you don't have to have the greatest equipment in the world to pull that off. And sometimes it takes a long time. I look back on a lot of the early stuff that we made, and a lot of it's very contrived. It's silly. It doesn't hit with the same punch that a lot of the stuff that we do today has. But we were learning how to tell stories.
You know, we will always turn around and think we just need $1,000 more and we can make this the best thing ever, or we need this person to shoot it, it's going to be the best thing ever. And the reality is the weekend will come and the weekend will go. And at the core of everything that we do, story is always king.
Well, quality is what makes the difference. So like for years we'd had music, you know, production music sites, but the music was just really mediocre, kind of, it didn't make you feel anything. So I remember when I first started looking at the music bed and going, oh, these are actually proper artists. You know, there's not someone with, you know, just banging something out without any thought. These are people who care about their music. And I love that because these are musical artists that care about their music, and I'm a filmmaker that cares about the message that I want to do. And when you can combine those, then, you know, amazing things can happen.
I feel like maybe it's a bit hammered now to say that all that stuff is worthless if you don't have a good idea, but it's the truth.
I think what's happened over the past couple of years is I've just kind of worked really hard and made a lot of videos and made a lot of mediocre videos and a lot of worse than mediocre videos. And through that, just like earn the trust to be able to experiment and do some different things.
Forgetfulness, this face of majesty, the crackling, roaring thunder, grace, his sound, glory, his bright display, breaks and creates and finds us.
People see the things that we do or other churches do, and they want that. They want it to happen. I know I did. I want it to happen overnight. I want it to happen so fast. I wanted to change everything. And so often what people see, I think, as a finished product is some amazing thing, started as not that great of a song, started as not that cool of a moment, started as not that great of a service, but it's a product of someone who is willing to just wrestle it and wrestle it and wrestle it and work it and work it and work it until it became something really beautiful. I think the challenge for me is, am I willing to continue to stay with that? Because it's a bit of a grind, and you kind of want to move on from it. Are you willing to stay with it to come to the goal that's at the end of that process?
I think, we always think that we know the plan, we know what we need to do, and we'll keep fighting and try and build this thing for ourselves, to pat ourselves on the back and say, have a look at everything I've achieved, and I think that's a really dangerous place to be in. You think the people that are doing well now and kicking goals now are the people that are going to do the next season or take it to the next season, and sometimes they are and sometimes they're not, and I think you have to be aware of what God's doing and where He's moving within the church and where He needs you to take the team.
Thank you.